G'day, Aaron Shiner here. Welcome back to the next video in the Pro Agent series. I'm really excited about today because I'm going to be asking you to come up with your 10 out of 10 day in real estate. And really, this session is going to be key. If this is the first video you've watched, can I recommend you go back to the start, you watch video 1 and catch up, because once you've done that, you start implementing. This is really going to help you turbo boost your results. So here's the thing, watch the video, but more importantly, download the course notes below, and when we finish, get started and take some action. Let's get into it now. So we've all been to the course, or we've all been to a seminar where they've spoken about this thing called the ideal day. And you know, for me, I go, okay, well, if the successful agents have got this thing called an ideal day, I've got to go and have one. So I'd go back to the office and I'd say between 5 and 5:30, I'm going to get up and go for a walk between 6 and 7:30. I'm going to write my thank you letters from 7:30 to 9. I'm going to make my prospecting calls from, 10 to 11. I'm doing buyer appointments from 12 till 3. I'm doing listing appointments, whatever it is. I loaded up my day so tight with so little movement. And here's what happened. Day 1, I'm like, yes, I'm going to start this thing called an ideal day. I'm about to start it. Then all of a sudden, a buyer walks in and goes, I want to see your property now. A seller walks in and says, hey, I know you're busy, but can we have a chat for a minute? Here's the thing, in real estate, things come up. I get home at the end of the day and I think, hang on a second, not only did I not do the tasks that I set out to do, I also didn't do my ideal day. So we're loading that extra piece of guilt on top. Here's an analogy for you, right? 30 seconds worth. You're a firefighter, okay? And you're in the clubhouse or you're in the fire station, and the fireman says, okay, well, we've got to have ideal days. You can't really plan for that ideal day. The ideal day for a fireman is having no fires at all. But let's just say they've got, fire drills, where they practice getting the hose out of the truck from 11 till 12, and then they practice running to the truck from 1 till 2. Let's just say a fire does break out and the alarm starts going and the siren sounds off. Do they say, sorry fire, we're in the middle of a fire drill, or do they drop everything and they go out and fight the fire? That's exactly the same in real estate. We don't fight real life fires, but we do fight metaphorical fires. So I think the old way of doing an ideal day, there's nothing ideal about it, because we need to really focus on what a 10 out of 10 day looks like, what a perfect day in real estate looks like. And that isn't about allotting time in time management, it's about the specific results that you want to achieve. It's about how many prospecting calls you want to make, how many appointments you're attending. So let's look at it, let's construct a 10 out of 10 day for yourself. All right, let's take it from the top. Let's look at the ideal day versus the 10 out of 10 day. But before we do that, ask yourself this question: what does your 10 out of 10 day look like? Maybe pause the video now and get really clear on what it is your 10 out of 10 day looks like. Because here's what I know, and listen, this is important. Your brain will be able to lock onto it if it knows what it's shooting for. So let me share with you my 10 out of 10 day, and maybe you can implement some of that. So for me, its first step is around making 30 connections a day, talking to 30 future vendors a day. That sets up my whole day, because once I make those 30 connections, that's the thing that allows me to book in my listing appointments, okay? Now, once I've actually secured some listings, now what I want to do is do 1 buyer appointment a day. Then I also want to do some farm area prospecting. So here's the wrap: 30 connections a day, 2 listing appointments a day, a buyer appointment a day, and some farm area prospecting. Does it matter in what section or what time of the day that I do it? The answer is no. I leave that flexibility. So if I'm busy in the morning, I can do it in the afternoon. If I'm not up for making phone calls in the morning, I make them in the afternoon. If I feel like making phone calls in the afternoon, well, I can do my listing appointments in the morning. I'm not really shooting on this is the time of day. I'm not putting those constraints on myself. I'm just shooting for outcomes. And what I found, when you lay the two together, the ideal day is shooting for, let's just tick some things off the list to say we've done an ideal day. The 10 out of 10 day allows you to accurately tick the things off which are important and leads to listings and sales. So here's the thing. You've probably heard me saying make 30 connections to future vendors a day. And you're sitting there going, well, how do you do it? Who are you calling? And I probably should say, I make 30 connections a day to get to those 2 listing appointments. But it's because I'm calling warm people, warm relationships from my database. If you're calling cold people where you got no relationship just in your farm area, well, that number of connections a day has to be a lot higher. So if you're calling cold people from the street, it's probably going to be 100 connections, 100 calls to get to those 2 listing appointments. But because I'm calling from a database and I'm calling warm clients, that's why my numbers, 30 connections equals 2 appraisals. So for yourself, you'll have to figure out exactly how many connections equals 2 appraisals and then set your numbers. So let's take a look quickly at exactly who I'm calling and who I'm connecting with. All right, so the first place we start is my past appraisals. These people are gold. I hear so many people do this. They go out, do the appraisal, maybe send a thank you letter, ring the client up and say, hey, are you ready to list yet? The client says no. The agent might ring them one more time and say, hey, are you ready to list yet? The client says no. After that, the agent forgets about them and then moves on to the next person. For me, I'm looking for the vendor who says this, Aaron, I want you to come over and give me an update on the property, but we're not quite ready yet. The dialogue that I use there is say, hey, selling right now is the furthest thing from what I actually want you to do. And it's the truth, because if they get 3 agents in and I'm in a 3-agent shootout, they don't know me and they don't know the other 2 agents, typically what they'll choose on, how much they quote, how little they charge on advertising, or whatever it is. Once there's a solid relationship with your past appraisals and you've let them know what type of value you can add by staying in contact, keeping them updated with the market, letting them know what properties you've sold, it becomes so much easier. So for me, when someone says we're selling in 6 months from now or 12 months from now, I've actually got a follow-up plan in my database where I go back to the office, attach that plan, I set it and forget it, and it prompts me to make phone calls every couple of weeks. It sends out my letters automatically, so it puts my prospecting on autopilot. We call it set and forget. You set the appraisal trail, you walk away, and then you just do your scheduled tasks every day within your database. You click the button and say, what's going on today? And it prompts me exactly who to call. And past appraisal follow-ups is absolutely key part of that strategy. So for me, the next strategy in this 30 connections a day is talking to my past appraisals. I've said it in previous videos, only 3% of agents stay in contact. And here's the thing, I ask you the question, if you're not an agent staying in contact, why is it? And I can typically hear the answers. And it's not that you don't like the people or the people don't like you. You actually did get along quite well with them. It typically comes down to organization and structure. In a perfect world, you would love to stay in contact, but in most cases, it's because we don't have this thing called a database prompting us to remember to call. So this is what a call looks like for myself. I see it in my scheduled tasks. It's saying, call Betty Smith. It's her 2-year anniversary. So I'll ring Betty and say, g'day Betty, this is Aaron from First National. Just flicking through my diary and realize it's been your 2nd-year anniversary. Just wanted to wish you a happy anniversary. I hope all is well. And then we just have a general chat around that. But again, very, very easy prospecting calls, and realistically, you could almost argue that they're not really prospecting calls, they're just having a chat to a friend, and that's how you want prospecting to feel. And from myself, from my own experiences, talking to past appraisals, talking to past anniversaries in a conversational and friendly dialogue is much better than using some tricky script or dialogue with some person we don't know. All right, let's take a look at number 3, and that is staying in contact with past appraisals, but more importantly, just sold notifications. I find this fascinating. We sell a house, we're so quick to go out to the farm area, to the street where we sold the house, door knock, phone call about just listed. Here's the crazy part. 93% of those people have no intentions of selling in the next 12 months. On average, only 7% of a marketplace is actually looking to do anything, transact a property in the next 12 months. So we've got these people right under our noses. These past appraisals are right under our noses. They are the 7%, but most of us don't let those people know about just solds. We're so quick to go to the farm area. So what's the solution? How about we do this? Anybody that we've done a past appraisal for, we actually get in contact with those people and we let them know about what's being sold, because they are in the mode of acquiring information before they go on the market. Here's also what I know. You contact them once, you contact them twice, you might contact them 6 to 8 times in a 12-month period about just sold notifications. All of a sudden, in their mind, you're top of mind because, hey, you're the guy or you're the girl who lists and sells heaps of properties in this area. Trust me, this thing has, when people say, what's your secret? This is one of the keys that has really made me stand out compared to all the other agents in my marketplace. Staying in contact with those past appraisals is far more effective, far more efficient than just staying in contact with 93% of the people in your farm area that have no intentions of selling. Okay, I understand everybody's busy and we've all got to get to appointments, but let's look at the last one, and that is the inner circle contacts. These are the people that you have a really good relationship with. They could be the solicitors, conveyancers in your area. They could be the accountants. It could even be your office painter, your tradesmen. These are the guys, your network, someone where their number's in your phone. You can call them at least once a month. Ask them how it's going. You really want to make sure you got 5, 6 or 7 of these people on your books where you've got a really good relationship with them, where you refer them business and they refer you business. It can even be agents outside of your area. I've got a really good relationship with an agent close to where I live. In the last month alone, that agency has sent me 7 referrals. You know, I'm saying, imagine if you got 7 to 12 referrals in a 12-month period, how your business would change and what your business would look like. Imagine working on getting, you know, maybe even 2 or 3 referrals from your inner circle contacts every month. So guys, start brainstorming. You know, what finance broker can you form a relationship? What solicitor? What accountant? What tradesman? Because here's the thing, you work with local tradesmen in the area. What's one of the first things owners do before they put their house on the market? You betcha. They get things ready. They call the painter in to do some work. They call the handyman in to do some work. They call the carpet cleaner in. So you want to make sure that you've got relationships with those people. So when they get the call and they're talking to the client and the client says, yeah, actually, we're getting it ready because we're going to put it on the market, you want to make sure you get that call from that tradesperson so you can go over, introduce yourself, and I tell you what, going in on a warm recommendation is much better than cold calling and door knocking. So there we have it, another video done in the Pro Agent series. What did you take away from this video? What are you going to implement? Was it, what does your 10 out of 10 day look like? Is it 30 connections, 2 listing appointments, 1 buyer appointment and some farm area prospecting? Or how about the 30 future vendors you're going to connect with? You're going to come up with your inner circle list. What is it? I'm not sure what it is for you, but I know this. By implementing this stuff, it's going to help you close the gap from where you are to where you want to be. Watching the video is one thing, now taking the action steps is the next. Directly below this video is the course notes in PDF. Print them out now, have them next to your desk and start implementing them. Keep an eye out for the next video coming soon in the Pro Agent series. I've really enjoyed making this video for you. Aaron Shiner signing off. List and sell. Bye for now.